Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to Blackboard Stocks. So in Blackboard Stocks, what we're going to do during each session that I have, probably going to do it monthly, is we're going to look at one stock. We're going to look at the pros and cons of the stock from a sentiment standpoint and just overall where I see the market. And then in addition, we're going to go into a technical analysis of where the stock was and where I believe the stock will go based on that technical analysis. So the stock that we're going to be doing today is Metro Goldwyn Mayer. A lot of people who own this stock probably don't even know this acronym. They're probably saying, well, what's that? Very simple, MGM. When you buy a stock, you should probably learn what the acronym is, but it's also good to know it's good to know the full name. So let's go into the pros. We're going to do 3 pros and we're going to do 3 cons. Pro number 1 is going to be vaccine. Easy one. Pro number 2, online gambling. Pro number 3, a PE of around 6. Those are the 3 pros we're going to go into. Then we're going to go into cons. Con number 1, event heavy. Con number 2, low price targets. Con number 3, China whales. This is an easy one. Vaccine. I think when the vaccine comes about, that's obviously a pro. Obviously, people are going to be going more to the casino. Some people will be scared to go, but I think it would be good there. Also, online gambling. Very good. They had the BetMGM app. Sports is coming back. They have a partnership with NASCAR. Now, is the online gambling platform as good as, like, let's say, a Penn? Absolutely not. However, they had a big investor flood in about $1 billion, August IAC media company. Very promising in that specific regard. And that goes to PE of 6. You know, when you look at the industry, you see stocks such as like Wynn that are similar. Similar like in the same industry. Sands, even Caesars. Caesars has a PE of 11. You have Wynn and Sands with PEs that are basically upwards of over 100. Versus the 6. Now the 6 is likely, obviously what they did is they sold and got rid of the MGM brand as well as the Bellagio. And they freed up that cash because they wanted to go into Japan. And they did that in January, so they got kind of lucky. So they're in good shape in that regard because they have cash on hand. And what it allows is you to basically go into this online gambling and hold for the Japan situation. So these are a lot of pros. Cons. MGM's moved away from the casinos a little bit. A lot, and actually gone more to events like conferences, pool parties. People go there all the time for other things besides gambling. That's really hurt them and can hurt them in the future. Also, low price targets. Analysts are giving a high price target of around 28, a low price target of 16. I think you have to give that some credence. When you go on tip ranks, you see it has a ranking of 1 currently in regards to it dropping. You have to give some credence to that. And also China whales. MGM's known for Chinese whales coming to Las Vegas and coming to MGM. That is an issue. However, on the flip side, you have MGM that has a basis in Macau. And Macau is separate than mainland China. It's similar to like Hong Kong. And what happens is that China has stated that there could potentially be a blacklist, or is going to be a blacklist, on foreign casinos. Therefore, could see more volume pushed. So overall, that's kind of what we're looking at with the pros and cons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into a technical analysis. Pardon my drawing. I'm not very good at scaling. But let's see if we can do it. I was always good at drawing, just not really good at drawing periods, stick figures. One arm was bigger than the other one. So let's see if I can do this, huh? Okay, so what we're going to have is we're going to have 3 slots, okay? So this is going to be the stock price, this is going to be the stock price, and then right here we're going to have RSI, whether it's overbought or oversold, and below that we're going to have MACD, which is the moving averages. Okay, so what we're going to do is I like to work in whole numbers. You know, I like decimals, but I think for the purpose of this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to work in whole numbers, okay? What I want to tell you right now is that pre-COVID, it was at 33, okay? And we're going to do a time frame of around 4 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to start May 15th. We're going to basically run it to probably current date around September 6th, which is my birthday, by the way. And then we're going to fill the other months. Let's see if I can get my scaling okay. You know, August, July, you know, June. That seems not bad. Okay. June, July, August. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to say currently, you know, where it was in May. So let's just basically put 12. That's where it was. And then let's basically run it up to as high as 24. I'm going to walk you through kind of what's happened with this stock over that time and then go to technical analysis. May 15th, everybody remembers the massive rally that happened. Casinos were just open. It was a pretty easy buy at that point. So when it was around like 12, what happened was it jumped. And it jumped to about, you know, mid-June. Let's just, you know, let's put some ins and outs. But, you know, mid-June to about 24. Okay? Big rally. And then what happens, there's a massive spike in cases. And what slowly happened is you basically start to see this slow drop down, okay? Slow drop down into August. And then what happened is you see this slow drop down, increase in cases. So casinos open, boom, spiked, and then all of a sudden market tanked, Dow dropped like 1,000 or something. Then basically stock goes down, and then we hit August. Remember I was talking about that investor, IAC, that basically inflooded capital? That's what happened right there. They also got a deal with NASCAR, with the online gambling. They're partners with the Las Vegas Raiders. Football starting, very, very good opportunity. So therefore, it basically went back up this way, okay? So it hit 24 right here. It hit 24 right here. It bottomed out around 15, okay? Bottomed out around 15. And then what happened is you saw it basically go down basically a little bit right here, and then what happened is basically it kind of went up, it basically kind of went up like this and like that. So kind of like a little bit of a V-ish a little bit, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So what you can see from the analysis standpoint up here is that this is what's called a cup and handle, okay? You can see that a cup and handle, bullish pattern, then a cup, and then what happens is a handle, okay? You see the handle's right here, okay? Handle's right here where it goes down. And cup and handle patterns typically are about 7 weeks, okay? So from a technical standpoint, what's happening with this stock, where it is right now, is it started at 12, and you typically need to see a few things for this to happen. You need to see at least a 30% increase from this basically pattern right from this point right here up there. We doubled it. Wow, beat that one pretty well. And then when you see the drop from the top to basically right here where there's investors that invest a lot of money, you typically want to see, I don't know, about 15 to 20% technically. So 24 to 15 is much higher than 15 to 20%, okay? And then what happens is you want to basically see it then reach the point where it did, 24 at the top, where these are right about even. And then what happens is you're going to see it drop. You need to see it drop for at least 5 trading days. And right here we saw it for about 10 trading days. And then what happens is it basically finishes the pattern and then it starts to go up and it's starting to go up a little bit. And also what you want to see is you want to see when basically it drops down here, you want to see the volume of what they're buying be a little bit lower, right? So, and it was. versus the volume when it was basically up here all the time and stuff. The volume's a lot higher, it's lower. So when looking at the technical aspect of the cup and handle, it formed perfectly. And then you want it to last 7 weeks at least 7 weeks. This one, May, June, July, August, September, that's substantially longer. That's a pretty strong pattern right there. So what happens is then I want to talk about the RSI as well, because that's important. You know, remember, when you're looking at the RSI, you're basically dealing with 30, 70, 50 mid, right? So if it's above 50, it's a little more overbought, under 30, then it's a danger zone. What happened is the RSI went up and then it went down, so it's still around 65. Pretty high, a little bit of an issue, not really. And then you look at basically the MACD moving average on the bottom, and then what happens is when you can see it right here, it basically started going up. But then, you know, what happens is because if there's a lot of space in between here, typically it could tank. But it kind of evened out right there, and it's still bullish. You know, it's a little aggressive, but still bullish. So from those two standpoints, it's really good. And then lastly, last but not least, what you have is you have the 200-day moving average, and then you have the 20-day moving average, about to intersect. So there's a potential right here for a golden cross. So we have a full cup and handle pattern that's substantially longer than 7 weeks with a substantially higher bottom to top, over 30%, over 15 to 20%, low volume, golden cross, aggressive RSI. From that perspective, from a technical standpoint, I really, really like it. Now, do I think it's going to get to pre-COVID levels anytime soon? No. I bought it, all the way back here, but when looking at the market, it's very volatile. There could be a little bit of a drop. When you look at a pattern like this, it's really, really hard not to say, okay, I think it's going to go to 28, 29. Really difficult. Let's see if I'm right. Check back in a month. Maybe I'll have better graphics and audio visual by then, because I know that's difficult to hear. Thank you.